Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and once again we're in B class on street scene racing, and yeah, we're in the 2017 Abarth 124 Spider. So this, I think, largely shares the engine with the Abarth 695 Biposto, which we had in the previous episode, but this version is more powerful with more torque, and yeah, even though it's not quite as lightweight as that hot hatchback, it is still a very lightweight car. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what it can do, but as you can see by the stats, they're all fairly good for B class. Especially the handling and the braking, which is emphasised by the fact it doesn't weigh very much at 2,291 pounds, which is 186 pounds less than standard, so definitely doesn't weigh all that much, and yeah, it's got plenty of extra power to go alongside it. So yeah, other handling upgrades include sport tyres, race brakes, the tyres up front and rear are wider than they were before, and it's had sport weight reduction as well. So yeah, overall a lighter car and more powerful as well, which we'll get to before the next race. Let's see what it can do in this first race. Hopefully we can do well. It's not the fastest of cars by any means, but it is definitely quicker into the acceleration and top speed than the 695 was. So yeah, and with it being rear wheel drive and front engine, it's a little bit more better balanced for, you know, this kind of racing. Although the front wheel drive aspect of the 695 wasn't awful or anything, it certainly handled really rather nicely when it needed to, but it definitely had a lot of understeer when you properly pushed it. So let's hope that's not going to be the case with this one. So yeah, this has been added by the festival playlist. It's only 20 points, so it's well worth getting. Probably not giving it the most power that you can give this car in this class, but I try to have a nice balance between handling and pure power. On previous experience with this car, which I have a few races in already, that balance has mostly worked out. Had a few podium positions and a couple of wins. So yeah, we're not going to replicate that in this video. We'll have to see, but I do enjoy driving it, and that is the main criteria as far as I'm concerned. Certainly think it sounds better than it did originally. Particular upgrades that I've given it. Those brakes are fantastic at stopping this car, which obviously isn't going to have all that much in the way of momentum, not weighing all that much, but it's handy to have them there in case of emergency. So 4th place, decent enough, mid-table. Yeah, didn't really get the chance to break out from that position though, unfortunately. But still, it now has 225 horsepower, which is 60 horsepower more than it had standard, and it now has 251 pounds-feet of torque, which is 67 pounds-feet of torque extra. That's the same kind of you know, horsepower to pounds-feet of torque ratio that it had originally, because it originally had less power than it had torque. So I like the fact that it's been able to keep that. As yeah, with the lack of weight, the amount of torque does help shift this car out of corners. And it's now a 1.6 litre turbocharged inline 4 as opposed to the original 1.3 litre engine. And we've gotten that bigger engine from putting in a race engine block. Plus we've also got race pistons and a sport turbocharger as well. So yeah, definitely had some sizable upgrades, as evidenced by the really rather sizable increase in horsepower and torque. And yeah, that has the obvious advantage of decreasing the amount of time it takes to get to 60 to 100, and obviously increasing the top speed, which again we'll get to before the next race. So yeah, we're in a better position this time, nearer to the front. that does not guarantee anything in this game. Especially if people have better launch with all-wheel drive and the like. It's one of the more hectic point-to-point races because of the traffic. So let's try and take advantage of that. Since I do think we've got the handling to deal with any sudden changes in direction due to traffic. Glancing blow on that AI car there, but didn't really slow us down. In fact, gained us a position. Yeah, the traffic is stupidly heavy in this point-to-point race, as you'd expect, given it's a street scene race, and you know, we're in the most populous part of the map. This car does well in these kind of city environments, like a lot of Fiats and Abarths do, so that tracks. Opening up now, so less traffic, wider roads, more chances for overtakes. And we quite quickly dive back into the city. Fiesta there seems to have, or Focus, on whichever Ford it is, seems to have crashed into a building. Not helpful. Fear the Sierra is going to come up on us, yeah. That had about the same power as we do now in its stock form, so yeah, no doubt that that's a quicker car. But yeah, that is overall improvement on the previous race, second place compared to fourth, so I'm pleased with that. And to be honest, we held first for the majority of that race. It's only the straight bit at the end there that is on a gradient, which really killed us off. So yeah, you need a lot of power to get up that gradient at any kind of speed. But as you can see, less than a second behind the RS 500. So yeah, pleased with that. So yeah, this car can now do 0 to 60 in 5.282 seconds, whereas in standard it was about 1.4 seconds slower than that. So quite an increase. And 0 to 100 now is dealt with in 13.005 seconds, and that's an increase of more than 5 seconds, as it could only do 0 to 100 in 18.8 seconds originally. So that's an even bigger increase. That's easily one of the biggest increases that we've had on a car that we've upgraded in this kind of class for online racing. And we can now do 159 at the top end, which is 16 miles an hour more than standard, as it could only do 143. So yeah, quite big increases in acceleration there and top speed. So yeah, and it's definitely noticeable in, you know, in how much quicker it is in terms of acceleration and in top speed as well. I have on some point-to-point races comfortably got above 150, which obviously the standard car could never have done, and it's been able to handle that kind of speed as well. So yeah, on the whole, I really do enjoy this car. I've grown to like the looks of it more now, especially since you can see the influence of the older 124 124 Spider, and yeah, I think it looks great, and it does come across as more than just a MX-5 without the MX-5 body, which I believe it is essentially that. It shares the same platform with that Mazda, but unlike the Mazda, you know, it's turbocharged, and for my money this looks better. It's less aggressive, and it's overall just a better looking vehicle, whereas that Mazda just constantly looks angry, which is something that plagues a lot of cars these days, whereas this is a lot less aggressive looking. while also obviously emulating the looks of the original. So yeah, let's see what we can do in this third and final race. Be nice to get another podium position, but since we are a little bit further back, and this is a more speed orientated point to point in some ways, that might be a bit of an issue, but there is obviously plenty of corners to try and catch up on, which we should be able to do with our better brake, with our really good brakes and solid handling. You know, we're not like front wheel drive like the Fiesta and the Civic are. It's nice to see that plenty of people are using the 124 though. Not seen quite as many people use the 695 or some of the other vehicles added by the festival playlist for the Italian automotive update. So it's nice to see that some people are using them. Didn't realise the Fiesta was going as slow as it was there, must have hit that Bronco. Someone missed a checkpoint. Such a clean line through there, 112 mile an hour around the corner, which is plenty quick enough. Watch out for those rocks on those corners, because they do really slow you down. They're a lot heavier than they look. A bit of oversteer going into that corner. People really don't like it when you race alongside them, do they? Yeah, unfortunately this third race was a bit marred by that Civic being a bit crash centric. So yeah, only a 6th place this time round, unfortunately. But that's just the way it goes with online public lobbies. You do get your cheaters and people that just don't want to play fair. So yeah, but there we go. The Abarth though itself is a fantastic sports car in stock form or otherwise, although I do prefer it in its upgraded form. Principally because I think it sounds better and it does have more of the sporting performance you might expect from a car of this type. But the standard car is still solid enough and it is a good base for a racing car on this game. So yeah, get out there and get it if you haven't already. Like I said, it is only 20 points in the festival playlist, easy enough to get it with that amount of points. It takes about half an hour and it's well worth getting. So yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.